What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to World of Warships, where today we're going to be taking another look at a viewer replay. This one was sent in by Muchos Gracias, who we've seen a few times on my channel before, and he is taking out the Tier 6 Soviet cruiser, the Molotov, and he is playing on one of the newer maps, Trident. Now, I don't have the Molotov, I haven't played it, so I don't know a whole lot about it, but I've seen some other videos on the ship, and it looks like it's a pretty decent little cruiser. So let's quickly go over some of the statistics. It is armed with 9 180mm guns in 3 triple turrets. It has a maximum health pool of 28,400, I believe that is stock, with 2 torpedo tubes, one on each side. The torpedoes have a top speed of 65 knots, range of only 4 kilometers, and maximum damage of 14,400. As for the fire control system, maximum firing range of 15.5 kilometers, and engine top speed of 36 knots. But then we can also go into some of the more detailed stats, because I'm on a different website this time, I think. And I can see things like 22.5 second turn time on the turrets for 180 degrees, and first targets are starting to be sighted, and he has been spotted by aircraft. Max dispersion of the guns is 139 meters. Yeah, I can go through all of this. It's quite nice. I like this website. But he's got a Congo in front of him, and a Phoenix has started firing towards him, or towards the Omar. Shoots down the first plane is one of these little fighters. He's got high explosive loaded, and he's decided to switch over to armor piercing, which is why he didn't take the shot. As you can see there, reload time of about 12 seconds or so, which is not great in my opinion. The stat sheet says reload time of 12.5, and yeah, I don't know, in many ways I've always preferred my cruisers to be more along the lines of a Cleveland or an Omaha, rather than a cruiser with the larger caliber guns that takes longer to reload. But still, 12.5 seconds isn't bad, and he was just taking some shots at the Congo. Looks like they went a little bit high, so he didn't get a whole lot of damage there. And is he going to take another shot? Looks like he is. Shots on the way, and unfortunately looks like the rear turret hits the island, but the front 2 guns are looking pretty good. And 3 hits for nearly 5,000 damage, armor piercing side of the battleship. So not bad at all. He has slowed right down to keep the Congo in his sights. And more shots looking good. 7 hits, 7,000 damage basically. Looks like the Congo's turning his guns towards Muchos Gracias. So he makes the smart move and he starts moving forward. Congo maybe changed his course a bit. Not a whole lot. 2 hits for 1,400. So not a great salvo compared to some of the other ones, but he is turning over to starboard and manages to avoid most of those shells. As for turning and that sort of thing, rudder shift time is 7.8 seconds. And the max, or the turning circle radius is 860, which is something I had heard about with regards to the ship, is that it turns slower than some battleships actually. In fact, I believe this is a larger turning circle than the Tier 6 battleships in the game. I think Fuso's at about 700 meters, New Mexico's at about 600 meters, and Warspite is 500 or so. Don't quote me on any of those. Get some good hits on the enemy destroyer, but I mean, a turning circle of 860 meters, that's like Tier 10 battleship levels. That's what you kind of find with Yamatos and Montanas. But anyway, he's switched over to AP again to fire on this Badioni. And 13.4 kilometers. Unfortunately, it looks like the Badioni turned away, but it doesn't matter. He manages 4 hits and a Citadel for roughly 10,000 damage. And now he's got a Svetlana at 14.5, who looks like he's giving us a really nice broadside. Enemy team has lost 2 destroyers. Allied team has lost 1 cruiser. And shots are dropping nicely, but they land a little bit high and splash a bit behind him. So only 3 hits for very little damage, unfortunately. Svetlana got away with that a bit. And these shots going in this time, 4 hits, just under 3,000 damage again. Unfortunately, no citadels. But Badioni, we're shooting at him again. Look in front of us when you see a massive Wyoming, so Thankfully we didn't run into him, and not quite enough elevation on the guns for that salvo, and they land just short, just behind him. But anyways, we're going to switch targets to the New Mexico, much more heavily armored than the likes of the Congo. So let's see how these 180mm armor-piercing shells do. 8 hits, sorry, for 3,700. As you can see, not quite as didn't quite work as well as they do on a Congo, but that's to be expected. Another salvo on the way, 5 hits, 3,700 damage, not bad. And just looking at the minimap, I mean, things look like they're going pretty well. His team's now lost another cruiser, unfortunately, so they're kind of tied up with a number of ships. But it looks like, for the most part, his team seems to be sticking together, working together, and they are pushing in the center. If you look at F7 area, there's a battleship and a cruiser pushing up, another cruiser behind them. Looks like another battleship is moving up on their left-hand side. So that's always good to see, nothing more frustrating than a team that won't push up. I've actually been playing a fair amount of World of Warships recently, over the weekend, trying to get some games to show you of my own, so I don't have to rely on replays. I always love seeing replays, but I don't want to only rely on them for my channel. Unfortunately, it's just been such a long time since I played. As I said, like, my shooting's off, and manages to get a Citadel on the Cleveland. What a shot, that was amazing. But my shooting's off, and I don't know if I just don't have the confidence in myself anymore. I just can't quite make the opportunities. Also, it just seems to be, it just seems to be one of those times where either my team is really, really good, and things are like spread out evenly amongst them, or like just really, really awful. But again, I just can't seem to make these opportunities myself to do well at the moment. But I'm at least getting better. Svetlana misses that torpedo, but is he going to take one of these other ones? Yep, he takes one on the nose, down to less than 8,000 hit points. We've still got the armor piercing loaded. See if we can get a Citadel. Unfortunately not. And judging by the way these guns seem to have been overpenning this Svetlana, perhaps high explosive might have been a better option. But anyway, the Svetlana's down, and things are once again looking good for Muchos Gracias' team. The enemy has lost 2 cruisers now as well, and the 2 destroyers, while his team has now lost a 3rd cruiser. But it has given them the advantage in points, 428 versus 351, and we've got an enemy Molotov at 14.9 kilometers. But anyways, we're moving back towards our cap circle at the moment to probably go and render assistance there. I imagine that's exactly what he's trying to do. It looks like this Molotov is going to give him a broadside, so he's going to fire off a full salvo. All 9 guns, and it looks like he got the lead pretty good. Did he get the elevation right? Yeah, I'd say it was a well-placed shot. Unfortunately, RNG wasn't quite on his side, and he didn't quite manage to get any Citadels, but hey, those shells looked good, and they looked like they were pretty much all around the area that they needed to be, just not quite at the exact area. Anyways, now we got a Phoenix at less than 10 kilometers. Switching targets, we're going to fire a salvo at him, and looking good. 4 Citadels, gets himself Confederate devastating strike. And what a shot. I mean, that poor Phoenix didn't know what hit him. Anyway, Kuma now at 11.6. It's quite good matchmaking for the ship. I guess anytime you've got... looks like it is a maximum tier 6 battle, but there's a lot of tier 4s as well and tier 5. So anytime you get that in a tier 6 ship is great. Closing distance on the enemy Molotov. We are now at just over 8 kilometers. Also 8 kilometers away from the Congo. So we do have to be careful. We've got to keep maneuvering. We don't want to stay, same course and speed for too long, because that Congo may be a tier below us, but it will no doubt wreck a Molotov with its 14-inch guns. So enemy Molotov kind of giving a bit of a broadside. Took a shot, 6 hits, but very little damage, so seemed to bounce most of those shots. We are now within torpedo range. The enemy Molotov has launched, I think, and there they go. Manages 6 hits and finishes off the enemy Molotov. And now it's onto this Congo. But no, first we're going to switch targets and see if we can harass this Kuma. I wish I still had the Kuma in my port. And look at that, 5 hits and a Citadel for 6,000, and he gets the kill. And that is... well, no, he didn't get the kill. Sorry. Saw something being silly there. 9 hits for 13,000 damage on the Congo. Torpedoes going in. He's taking quite a bit of fire. Is he going to manage to land any of them? He lands 2. Congo's very nearly dead. More shots in. And he finishes him off. So, wow. What a run here. This was pretty fantastic gameplay. I think someone else got that Kuma. Or was it him? Now I'm just confusing myself. But anyway, the Kuma's dead. The Congo's dead. 3 kills to Muchas Gracias' name. 7 citadels and a pretty impressive amount of damage. So 3 ships remaining on the enemy team. It is their carrier, their New Mexico, I believe, and probably their Cleveland. I'm recording this commentary after recording the replay file, so this is I'm just watching the raw video footage right now, so I can't actually bring up the team score to check, but I do believe it is the Cleveland, just looking at the team panel, and that. So his team is now putting pressure on the enemy cap. They have a battleship and a cruiser that are within the cap, and yep, there's the Cleveland. Still love the Cleveland. Let's play it again. And you can see the enemy New Mexico is right there to try and stop the cap, but I mean, as hard as these 3 ships, including the carrier, might play, I don't think they're going to be able to pull this one back. Someone says focus the Cleveland, and Muchas Gracias has already got shells on the way. They land a little bit short, 1 hit for 440 damage. And this Cleveland is going to probably have quite a hard time hitting Muchas Gracias, because we all know the Cleveland shells love to hang in the air. 3 hits for just under 3.5, but then with the very big turning circle, it might make the Cleveland's job a little bit easier. But we're now 12 kilometers. He's coming bow on, but I mean, he's got 4 cruisers shooting at him, or at least 4 cruisers that should be shooting at him. Shots going in just as he's giving a broadside. 7 hits, takes out a turret. And this is pretty good position to be in, I think, because getting this close to Cleveland, yes, his rate of fire is going to beat the Molotovs, but you can hopefully get those big citadels, because you do have the 180mm guns, which hopefully will have more than enough punch to get through the armor and give us a nice juicy citadel. Shots going in. Can he get the kill? Unfortunately not. He leaves them on, like, what was that, 140 hit points with 6 hits. That's some bullshit right there. But I suppose you can't get all the kills. But anyways, now it is time to move up towards the cap circle, enemy cap circle. You can see the New Mexico has done a fantastic job. He killed the battleship that was capping for Muchas Gracias' team, and he has just killed the Karlsruhe. So this New Mexico has managed to get himself 2 kills, and he's only on 50% health or so, a little bit below. But he is on fire and he is burning. So we're going to move in towards him, try and get to within effective gun range. Well, 4 hits manages to set the New Mexico on fire, but he has now used his damage control team and put the fire out. Some aircraft flying over, but they look like they're just fighters. And take some damage, but not the end of the world. He has managed to set him on fire again, and because he has used his damage control team, that fire is just going to burn. So now we want to get some more fires and try and bleed this guy's hit points as fast as possible. And these other cruisers, they should try and move up a little bit quicker. They seem to be lagging a bit behind, but maybe they're just not as fast. But we get some more hits there, some more decent damage, and here comes some supporting fire from another cruiser who messes up that shot. Shots come in from the New Mexico, 5 hits, 7 hits for about 7,000 damage, I think, in total. Take some more damage from the New Mexico, and we're on a sliver of health. Lucky bounce there on the front, and there we go. 3 hits brings the New Mexico down to extremely low health, and the fire that was burning finishes off the enemy battleship, and that is Muchas Gracias' 4th kill of the match. And got torpedo bombers coming in, so he is in all likelihood selected them up, and he's trying to turn towards them, but you can just see this awful turning circle. And wow, carrier player, that was a spectacular torpedo drop. Yeah, I don't know what to say, because you can see, you know, I don't think they came under attack by his catapult fighter, because he's coming into land now, and I mean there's no dispersion. It's proper dispersion on those torpedoes. so the pilots weren't panicked. But the carrier player just completely overestimated his speed and dropped way in front of him, and then it was a very easy dodge to make. Unfortunately, if the carrier player had been better and had estimated the Molotov speed better, I think this would have ended differently for Muchas Gracias, no matter what he tried to do. But anyway, he got away with it, and the enemy carrier is pretty much guaranteed to be behind this island. So let's see if we can go and find him. Some fighters, no big worry. We'll just try and see if we can shoot them down. There's one, get a little bit more XP, a little bit more credits. Every little bit helps. But we do have a cruiser who is capping. Really no need to. There's 4 minutes left. We've got this match in the bag. There's no need to be in the cap circle. And this carrier is screwed because we've got Muchas Gracias coming in from the port side or the left side of the island. And from the right we've got that Cleveland, and there's another cruiser behind him. So let's just see who sees him first and who can get the kill. And is he here? Does not appear that he is. I'm fairly sure he is. Must be in the corner of the map. So let's just set sail and see if we can go and find him. And there are more torpedo bombers. So now we know exactly where this guy is. And there he is, spotted now, 11 kilometers away. And it is a Vogue, so a very, very slow ship. And it looks like the torpedo bombers are going for the Cleveland, which is a very, very interesting choice. Manages to get 5 hits and a Citadel for 6k, I think that was, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, torpedo bombers, why would they go for the Cleveland? I'm fairly sure this has a weaker anti-air armament than the Cleveland does. I mean, that's one of the best, or the best, air defense cruisers at this tier. But anyways, shots going in, 6 hits, another Citadel for 5,000 damage. The Cleveland has set him on fire, so there will be no more aircraft. And shots on the way. Will they beat the fire damage from the Cleveland? Unfortunately not. And Muchas Gracias misses out on his Kraken by just a few tenths of a second. But anyway, so let's have a look at how he did. And as you can see, this was a pretty fantastic match. Well played to you. And thank you very much for submitting it, because I really enjoyed watching you go to work on the enemy team in this ship. Earning himself 359,000 credits, 6,000 reputation. There was Confederate, Devastating Strike, and High Caliber possibly. Not entirely sure. 189 target hits, 2 torpedo hits, 3 plane shot down, 2 incapacitations, 4 kills, 2 fires, 1 flood, 9 citadels, and an absolutely amazing 185,000 damage. Coming first place on his team, no surprise there, with a base XP of 2,509, with the Cleveland in second place with only 1,127. So well over double the base XP of anyone else on his team. Enemy New Mexico top with 780, and the enemy Molotov second place with 766. As for the detailed report, as we said, 185,000 damage done, of which 22,000 was from high explosive shells, 136,000 was from armor piercing, 19,800 from torpedoes, and 6,900 from fires, basically. I mean, he did 50,000 damage to that Congo, pretty much took him out by himself. Another 40,000 to the New Mexico. It's just incredible what he did in this ship. So I do hope you guys enjoyed seeing him go to work on the enemy in the Molotov. I really did, and you know what? Maybe I need to buy the ship. Maybe I need to go and have a look how much it is. According to my little data sheet, it says it is 4,500 gold. So I must actually see how much money that is in real world money and see if I want to go ahead and get it. But anyways, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below and consider subscribing for more World of Warships, Armored Warfare, and a few other things that I throw into the mix from time to time. But that is it from me. Thank you very much for stopping by, and thank you muchas gracias for sending in your replay. But yeah, that is it. This is Predator 458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.